Okay, I will call to order the Murray City Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, May 2nd, 2024. It is 6:32 p.m. Present this evening are Commissioners Lisa Malkevich, Michael Richards, Peter Keephone, because we are recording this meeting. And we also ask that you state your name and address for the minutes. Once the item that you are here for is over, you are welcome to leave, but we ask that you do so quietly so that we can continue on with our meeting and the remaining items. If you are viewing this meeting on the live stream, the only way to make a public comment is to email planningcommission@murray.utah.gov. If you post a comment on the Facebook or YouTube comment section, it will not be seen for this meeting. So we will start with our agenda items. Our first item of business is the approval of minutes. We have March 7th and March 21st minutes. Have the commissioners had a chance to review those minutes?
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chairman, I motion that we approve the Planning Commission meeting minutes from March 7th and March 21st with the few comments that we had during our pre-meeting.
Great. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next item is conflict of interest. Do any of the commissioners have a conflict of interest with any of our agenda items this evening?
No.
No, neither do I. There are no conflicts of interest. Item number 3, approval of findings of facts. Have the commissioners had an opportunity to review the findings of facts and conclusions for Remedy Tattoo Parlor conditional use permit?
Yes.
Is there a motion?
Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve the findings of facts and conclusions for Remedy Tattoo Parlor.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 4, Apollo Marble and Granite. Is the applicant here this evening? Okay, great. First, we'll have a presentation from Mustafa Al-Janabi.
Thank you. Okay, so this is Apollo Marble and Granite. It's a conditional use permit for granite manufacturing and the new office/warehouse. So it's not just for the application of the manufacturing. So this is located in the MG zone. It is under an acre, 0.92 acres. That's where it's located. This is it under the plan. As you can see, the classification of each and every zone is set. The location of this is on a private road, which would be 160 West, right over here. That's a private road. Okay, so going forward, so this would be the site plan of the proposed building. As you can see, it is under, or approximately 15,400 square foot as a footprint, as seen under these. Going forward, it is made up of 2 floors. The first floor would be made up of offices and shops, as seen here, and I think there's also like a showroom as well. This is the second floor, which would include in another offices and shops, an open area that would go up to there. According to this, our calculations would be set up to create the parking. So 4 parking spaces would be created for each 1,000 square foot of a net usable space area, and every 750 per and 1 parking space for every 750 square foot. Based on that, the calculations of the total net of the house, which would be total net of the building would be 14,357 square feet. Based on that, we would have 19 parking spaces and a total of 788 square foot of office area. As we calculated it individually, each office had the total net of 788. Divide that by the 250, it would require 3 parking spaces. Combined, it would be 22 parking spaces. And as provided by the applicant, it would be 22 parking spaces. And those are parking spaces also within the building. There will be also covered parking spaces. So staff would have no concerns with those. Moving forward, these are the findings. Sorry, allergies are killing me. Moving ahead, so the findings are as is. The proposed use under land use code of 3270 would allow a countertop manufacturing business in this district. The conditions would be comply with the standards of Murray City ordinance and will not be contrary to the goals and objectives of Murray City general plan. This is the staff recommendation, which staff do recommend the approval of this project under these 7 conditions. Any questions?
Okay, if we could have the applicant come forward. Hello, can you state your name and address for the record?
Yes, hello, my name is Eric Carter. I'm an architect with Method Studio. The address is 360 Aspen Avenue, Salt Lake City.
Great. Have you had an opportunity to read over these, what am I looking for? Conditions, thank you.
Yes, I have.
And you'll be able to comply with them all?
Yes.
Okay, great. Is there any additional information you'd like to give the commission?
I don't believe so. I
Okay.
think all of it was in our submittal package.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we will open this item up for public comment. If there's anyone that would like to make a comment for this agenda item? No? Okay. Any email? All right, I'll close the public comment portion and bring it back to the commission for discussion or a motion.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So during our pre-meeting, we discussed a little bit about transportation on the road that fronts your property. And question came up, is that road suitable for large vehicle, oversized vehicles, semi-trailers, that sort of thing? Is that gonna be an issue for you in the future?
Yes, Apollo Granite and Marble is actually currently already in another location on that street, and they do currently receive large deliveries without a problem.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions?
I guess I have a question for staff.
Okay.
I think I know the answer, but we recently changed the process slightly so that the applicants that come to us are more complete. And then in the packet, the wastewater division says they need to see a full plumbing plan in order to do a full review. Are we confident that, oh, that's fine?
Yeah, they would need to provide, so what they typically look at is more in detail. They're looking at kind of these plans at the same level. They're looking at building permit plans. So sometimes they, especially these newer reviewers of these departments, they don't realize that they're kind of looking at the broad level and looking at, is there capacity and is it able to be served? Sometimes they get kind of into the weeds.
So
on
those
it.
weeds will be taken care of with
Yeah,
permit
the
business?
weeds will definitely be, and that's always one of the things is that they are required to follow everything that's in the conditional use permit as well.
There's still a process to cover that.
Correct.
Excellent, okay.
Any additional questions for staff or discussion? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion that the planning commission approve the site plan and conditional use permit to allow the operation of a granite production manufacturing business at the property addressed 160 West 4538 South, subject to the following conditions 1 through 7.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. I have a motion by Commissioner Hacker to approve the site plan and conditional use permit to allow the operation of a granite and product manufacturing business at the property address 160 West, 4538 South, subject to the 7 conditions, and a second by Commissioner Richards. Is there discussion on the motion? Okay, I'll call for a vote.
Okay, Commissioner Hacker,
Yes.
Commissioner Richards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Milkovich,
Yes,
Commissioner Haristo,
Yes.
Commissioner Pearson,
Yes.
and Chair Patterson.
Yes. Okay, motion passes. Good luck with your project. All right, agenda item number 5, Butler and Low subdivision amendment. Are the applicants here? Great. Okay, we'll have our presentation by staff.
Thank you so much, Chair. This is a request to amend the Butler and Low subdivision at the properties 1216 and 1224 West Winchester Street. So here you can see the existing 0.69 combined acres of the two properties. It was approved a few years ago under the Marlowe subdivision, and they came in and changed the name to Butler and Low subdivision and was able to record the plat. As part of that, from what I understand, is that the canal company didn't need as much property as was originally being dedicated over. Sorry, let me rephrase that. So let me go back. So this is in the R110 zone, and where we were talking in the pre-meeting about the where in the deeds it already shows the property exists. So if you see in that around the property there, the blue is the recorded subdivision lines, and the yellow extends a little bit past that. That's showing on the deeds where it's actually kind of come across. So they are requesting that those be amended back to that state. So here is the proposed plat. You can see just some amendments here. You have Lot 1A and Lot 2A. Here on the left is the proposed, and on your right is the existing. You can see kind of where the best way I can show it is that it used to go 25/7 over there, and now it cuts about half, a little less than half. So it's really simple. It's really just legal changes. Not much really else has changed on this. So staff is recommending that the Planning Commission approve the amendment for lots 1A and 2A to the Butler and Low subdivision for the properties at 1216 and 1224 West Winchester, subject to the 5 conditions that are in your staff report and on the screen here. Any questions I can answer at this point?
Okay, if we could have the applicant come forward. And would you state your name and address for the record?
Yep, my name is Scott Butler. I'm the manager of Butler and Low Enterprises, and my address is 6168 South Impressions Drive. And we have the properties over on 1216 and 1224 West just off of Winchester.
Great. Have you had a chance to review the 5 conditions? And you'll be able to comply with those?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. Is there any additional information you'd like to give the commission?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. We will open this agenda item up for public comment. Is there anyone that would like to speak to this item? Any emails or anything? Okay. If there's no one, then I will close the public comment and bring it back to the commission for discussion or a motion.
Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve the amendment for lots 1A and 2A to the Butler and Low subdivision for the properties addressed 1216 and 1224 West Winchester Street, subject to the conditions 1 through 5.
Okay.
5, sorry.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Who wants to do it?
I'll second it.
Okay, Commissioner Henry. All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Pearson and a second from Commissioner Henry to approve the amendment for Lot 1A and 2A to the Butler and Low subdivision for the properties addressed 1216 and 1224 West Winchester Street, subject to the 5 conditions. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, I'll call for a vote.
Perfect. Commissioner Pearson?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Richards?
Yes.
Commissioner Milkovich?
Yes.
Commissioner Haristo?
Yes.
Commissioner Hacker,
Yes.
and Chair Patterson.
Yes. All right, your motion is approved. Congratulations. Good luck with your project. Okay, next agenda item 6 and 7 will be presented together. Is the applicant here?
Yes. he's here.
All right, we'll have a presentation from staff.
Okay, this is a request from Brad Reynolds Construction for a general plan amendment and zone map amendment. The general plan amendment from commercial development to higher density residential, and zone map amendment from CD commercial development to RM20 multifamily residential high density. The property is at 5425 South Vine Street. It was the old Wagon Master. And then it was Dead City Haunted House. So Vine Street goes north and south here. Murray City Cemetery is just to the west of the property. It's in the, like I mentioned, in the CD zone currently. To the south is RM20, and then to the north is CD, which is our commercial development. The future land use designates it as general commercial, kind of as I had mentioned. And let's see. So general commercial really only has one zone applied to it, which is the CD, commercial development. So it already exists. It's really used for big box commercial developments. It does recommend doing high density multifamily residential, but that's never been implemented into the general commercial zoning district. Higher density residential includes two corresponding zones, which is the RM20 and the RM25, and then density ranges between 10 and 25 units per acre. Would be, does allow for additional dwelling units. So use comparisons. In the CD zone, you really get your large commercial users, so variety stores, retail establishments. The mall is in the CD zone. Conditional, you get retirement homes, department stores, medical uses, as well as tattoo salons and like gasoline service stations. In the RM20 zone, it's largely just a residential zone, so you get permitted single-family detached dwelling on 8,000 square foot lots, and two family dwellings on 10,000 square foot lots, charter schools, things like that. Conditional uses, you can do attached single-family dwellings and multifamily dwellings up to 17 units per acre as a base density. Also conditional uses of bed and breakfast, retirement homes, cemeteries, all that fun stuff. So looking at the actual zoning comparison here, you have residential density. Again, CD does not allow for residential except for assisted or retirement facilities. RM20 allows for 8,000 square foot minimum lots for single family or up to 17 dwelling units per acre. Height, 35 is when you're located close to residential, an increase as it states there. In the RM20, up to 40 feet max as approved by the Planning Commission. Front yard setbacks, 20 feet in the CD, 25 in the RM20. Rear yard, 25 feet in the RM20 and none in the CD. Same with side yard in the CD. There is no side yard setback except for on corner lots, which it's 20 feet. Parking required is typically between 4,000 and 5,000 spaces per 1,000 square feet. In RM zones, typical is 2.5 spaces per unit. So we are making a recommendation, we are recommending that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval for both the general plan amendment and the zoning map amendment. So I'm happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
I have a small question. Could you go back to that general plan map that you had up there?
Sure.
There's this one little corner you're showing down there that's still red. Is that That's not really gonna be there, is it?
No, that won't be there. It's really just a figure of GIS, our GIS maps.
I assume not, but
Yeah, it won't really be there. I saw it too, and I was like, that's weird.
yeah, it was hard to see on this.
Yeah, you can't, because that one was drawn through a, that one is an actual, from the general plan map. This is a GIS layer, so a mapping layer. I can actually, if you, since we're flying through these real quick, I can show you. So we have this mapping, that is used throughout the city. So we can actually, when somebody comes to the counter and has questions about like their zoning, we pop on this map, right? But it also has the future land use, which we had added a couple, about a year ago now. So now it kind of turns on and you can see kind of how it moves over to the right there a little bit, so.
It's just a little discrepancy.
Yeah, just a little discrepancy that needs to be cleaned up.
Any other questions for staff?
I guess I have a question. It's the same as the last question, so I think I know the answer, but we changed our process so that now when we get applications, they should be thorough, done, right? And on page 7 of this applicant, it said the sewer department or a city sewer recommends. Their last bullet, they said both concept plans have issues and will have to be sorted out with drawings, but there are solutions to make the project work. So I'm assuming that this will be fine, it'll be worked out. right?
Yeah, so that's probably one where I should have edited their comments, because technically you're not looking at a concept plan. So concepts have been talked about behind the scenes. Brad Reynolds has been working with the engineering team and stuff. So you guys have not seen a concept plan, there's no concept plan in front of you. So yes, it will be worked out before. This is purely just zoning changes.
Any other question? Okay, if we could have the applicant come forward.
Good evening. Brad Reynolds, 2500 East Haven Lane, Holiday, Utah. I am the applicant for the general plan and zoning map amendment, and I would like to say that I'm happy and grateful for the opportunity to be back in Murray City with another proposed project. We've had several projects here in Murray City and have currently one under construction on Allendale and 5300 South. All of our projects have been very successful and have sold out very quickly. We feel like this zone change will actually provide a nice transition from the property to the south, which is 29 units per acre. And then you have storage garages on the east end. Then you have commercial office buildings to the north. We feel like this project, if it's approved, would provide a real need for some quality and affordable housing. As you know right now, it's kind of a challenging time for builders with higher interest rates and building costs not coming down. But I think even more challenging, it's difficult for future home buyers to try and make ends meet and still qualify for a home. And we feel like this proposed zone change will provide a product that will help and is in need for many, first-time home buyers that want to be in the area. So we feel like it will help clean up this lot and that it will provide a much-needed, affordable quality housing. So we really think it could be a great project. Any questions or anything that I might be able to answer?
Doesn't look like it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, at this time, I will open the public comment portion of the meeting for these two agenda items. If anyone would like to come make a public comment? Have we received any? Okay. Seeing none, I will close the public comment portion and bring it back for discussion or a motion. Remember, we'll have to make two motions that we're forwarding to the city council, so.
I can't help myself, I just have to say that it's completely shocking that there's
That
not a
there's no
soul here for this agenda item.
I mean,
And yeah, not one phone call based off the.
maybe
things.
that's a good sign.
I mean, I think it is, but it's surprising.
Well, and
I
I-
think it does, I think it also does speak to Brad Reynolds
I
as
was
well. He has a strong reputation in the city. So I think, when we put in notices, we say who the applicant is, so
Yeah.
I think it does
I was
go a
trying
long
not
way.
to say anything to
Sorry.
that because next time, when he comes back, we have a chance to compliment him. But I'm also wondering if, one, the public is understanding our code a little bit better. And two, not saying on record, but Brad does great projects and they're usually townhomes and condos and not large-scale apartments.
Well, and I think too, like, we talk a lot about the highest and best use of a property, and I think we all kind of realize that this hasn't maybe been its highest and best use. And so, I think, even people in the area want it to be redeveloped somehow. So I think there probably is, support for some of these changes, so,
And it's a perfect area for this type of change.
right? Yeah,
That's-
okay. Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that the planning commission forward a recommendation of approval to the city council for the requested amendment to the future land use map, redesignating the property located at 5425 South Vine Street from commercial development to high-density residential.
I have a motion by Commissioner Richards. Is there a second?
I will second.
Okay, and a second by Commissioner Haristo. So I have motion by Commissioner Richards and a second by Commissioner Haristo to forward recommendation of approval to the city council for the requested amendment to the future land use map, redesignating the property located at 5425 South Vine Street from commercial development to high-density residential. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, we'll entertain a vote.
Yep. Commissioner Richards,
Yes.
Commissioner Haristo,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Milkovich,
Yes,
I've lost, Commissioner Pearson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hacker,
Yes.
and Chair Patterson.
Yes. All right, now for the zoning map amendment.
I'll make another motion, if I
Great.
can. That the planning commission forward a recommendation of approval to the city council for the requested amendment to the zoning map designation of the properties located at 5425 South Vine Street from CD Commercial Development to RM20, multifamily high-density residential as described in the staff report.
I'll second.
Okay. I have a motion from Commissioner Richards and a second from Commissioner Malkovich to forward recommendation of approval to the city council for the requested amendment to the zoning map designation of the properties located at 5425 South Vine Street from CD Commercial Development to RM20 multifamily high-density residential as described in the staff report. Is there any discussion on this motion? Okay, we'll entertain a vote.
Commissioner Richards,
Yes.
Commissioner Milkovich,
Yes,
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Haristo,
Yes.
Commissioner Pearson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hacker,
I look forward to seeing the property improve. Yes.
Yes.
and, Chair Patterson.
Yes. All right, motion passes. So good luck at the city council and the next steps for this project. Yeah, thank you for being here. Okay. Agenda item number 8, Kenneth and Jean Kitt are the applicants here. Yes? All right, we'll have presentation from staff.
Okay, so this is a zone map amendment from R18 to R210. Is a property located at 1151 East, 6600 South. So let's get ahead with this. So the property is 12,000 196 square foot, as shown over here. It is right next to the Wheeler Farm, which is, if I can get this right, it's right over here. So this is under R18, which is a low-density residential. And according to the applicant, he's trying to make it as a medium-density residential. And just to get that cleared out, I think I already have it in, actually, let's keep this for later. So this is the applicant, the lot. If I can get this, it's right over here. That would be the site plan of the place. It is located right across from another residential units, which is RM20, I assume. And according to the future land use map, it is still going to be a low-density residential, as is shown. Now, just to be clear, the difference between the R18, which is the current existence of the land, compared to the R210, the proposed, is only the size of the lot. So 8,000 square foot for the single-family lot size, the R18, and the R210 is 10,000 square foot, which would be allowing for a twin homes, which is basically a duplex, is what the applicant is looking for. Everything else, as seems to be exactly the same from both, which is why the only application we're getting is just a zone map change, not a general plan change, because it will be under the same classification as is. Now, going forward, this would be the difference between the two allowed land uses. The existing will be permitting the single-family homes, lot utilities, so on and so forth. Conditional uses would be up to PUDs, single-family homes, radio and television transmitting stations, schools, churches, utilities, and so on, which would be the exact same thing under the R210. The only difference would be the duplex, which is two-family dwellings, under the 10,000 square foot, which the applicant does have enough space for the 12,000 square foot that he already has in the property. Going forward, the general plan, the finding of those three would be general plan request change, provide the flexibility, and this flexibility is shown according to the map between the medium and low density, which would be fallen, and I don't think I applied it here, but they would, under the general plan code, they are fallen under the low density residential. R210 would fall under that, which would allow it to keep it as is. The staff does recommend the approval and forward this to City Council for the zone map amendment for the property located at 1151 East, 6600 South, from R18, single-family low-density residential, to R210, to a medium-sized residential. Questions, comments, concerns?
I just have a quick question. Across the street is RM25. Could you, in like very short, just compare the density between RM25 and R210? Like what kind of density are we looking at RM25 compared to an R210?
So it is a much higher density. Let me go back to the plan and this. So as is, it's a high-density residential. It would allow more of a 25 units per acre per se, if not more, which would allow for, let's say, apartments, condos, and so on and so forth. For the R210, it would not allow most of those. And if Zach can explain a bit more.
So, like he was saying, so the RM25, it allows for a base density of 22 units per acre. Taking this single parcel and creating an R210, it would be two homes on one. So I'll just do what the zoning allows, right? So two units on a 10,000 square foot parcel. That comes out to 8.7 units per acre. So really, you're looking at what would be a little less than a 6,000 square foot lot. I mean, obviously, it's 5,000 on each side, right?
Required.
Required, yep. So that's 8.7 units per acre is what it would be. You can round it up to 9.
That's good, thanks.
Yeah.
Question, you stated that this is in agreement with the general plan, but kind of going back to the discussion we had in our pre-meeting about some of the wording inconsistencies, if this is medium, if this really is, end up changing it to a medium-density residential, the general plan shows that as low-density residential.
So that's a typo in the general plan. The R210 zone is still the right zone.
But if it's medium density, the general plan says this lot is in low density.
But if you look at the corresponding zones underneath, so in your packet, the corresponding zones, I believe the last one says R210.
And it does mention that it's a two-family, so it's like very specific for that one.
Yeah, so R210, low density, two family.
Low density two-family, so we're inconsistent throughout, because we say low density, we say medium density, we say single family, we say two-family.
Yep, overall, it's the R210 is what gets you to the correct zoning. There's no other zone in the zoning ordinance that's labeled R210.
Yeah, and the two stands for two-family, right?
Two family on a 10,000 square foot lot.
So when we make the motion, we just make sure we say R210's two-family, medium density, is that what we should be?
If you want to be precise, I will get exactly what the zoning code says. Cause that would be the best. Let me get that. Sorry, give me just 1 second. Okay, so it is medium density residential district R210. It doesn't specify one family or two family.
Okay. Are there any other questions for staff? All right, if we could have the applicant come forward.
Okay, I'm Kenneth Kitt, and my wife Jean's here. We live at 959 East Vine Street in Murray, and we own that property at 1150 20 6600 South that we're hoping to get rezoned for a twin home.
Great. Is there any other information you'd like to give the commission about this?
You'll have to speak of it, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Is there any other information you would like to give the commission about this rezoning?
Something we really don't want to get into as far as what's existing in this area, so I'm not trying to cause anything, but we're just looking to get it rezoned for a twin home.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, I will open this agenda item for public comment. But since there's no one here, are there any email comments? Okay, I will close the public comment period and entertain discussion or a motion.
Just a question, I guess it really isn't strictly relevant to the issue, but there's already an existing home on this property, is that correct?
Yes.
So this just would rezone it, allow future development if they want it, okay. Thank you. Oh, I'm willing to make a motion then.
Great.
I move that the planning commission forward a recommendation of approval to the city council for the requested amendment to the zoning map designating the property located at 1151 East, 6600 South from R18 Single Family Low Density Residential to R210 Medium Density Residential.
Is there a second on the motion? Okay. I have a motion by Commissioner Henry and a second by Commissioner Malkovich to forward a recommendation of approval to the city council for the requested amendment to the zoning map designation of the properties located at 1151 East, 6600 South, from R18 Single Family Low Density Residential to R210 Medium Density Residential. Is there any discussion on that motion? Okay, we can call for a vote.
Okay, Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Milkovich,
Yes,
Commissioner Richards,
Yes.
Commissioner Hursta,
Yes.
Commissioner Pearson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hacker,
Yes.
and Chair Patterson.
Yes. Okay, thank you for being here. Is there any additional business?
No, we will have just a single item on the 16th. So if you would like to be here, great. Today was also the last day for the RFP for a form-based code for downtown. We were able to get that funded. So we had 5, I think, responses. So we'll be going through those. Be prepared for a lot of education on what that means. There will probably be multiple trainings and things just to understand what that entails, and what that means for the downtown in general. We also selected a consultant for the Murray Central Station small area plan, or station area plan. So we are working with UTA to get that going. It's very busy, very exciting stuff going on. Yeah, it's lots moving, so, yeah.
Mr. Smallwood, the next meeting with one item on the agenda, is there one item because that's all we have? Or is it one item because it's huge, it needs to be standalone?
It's all that we have, thankfully. It seems huge, but it's actually not, it's UEA, doing some, boundary. If you guys remember when we did it, there was lots of, they had to come back at the end and do a lot of cleanup on property lines. So it's time to clean up property lines. So much like what we talked about in the Butler and Low, it's just a lot of legal work. So it's gonna be pretty fun. Any requests for anything, any like trainings or anything? Back before Susan left, I wanted to go over the bylaws, because we haven't done that in a while. So that's something I've been thinking about.
That's a good idea.
If you'd like, I can put that on there, because I really don't think that will take much time, so if you guys are interested,
That's a really good thought. A short meeting might be a good time for training.
yeah. So if you guys are open to that, I'm more than happy to schedule some stuff on there too.
I think we should, I think it'd be good, because I think we might need to, or we should look at maybe modifying those bylaws, because I've read them and,
I don't think they've been modified since like,
or we should at least, use them.
yeah, that's fine. Okay, perfect. Okay.
Great. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn at 7:16 PM.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?